What's up, everybody? You're tuned into the new Del C show. And of course, I'm your host, Del C. First of all, let me say, welcome home, Maxb. Maxb didn't waste no time hanging out, going to the basketball game with French Montana and his people and everybody and his kids and everything, man. It was a beautiful day for this brother that's been locked up for damn near 16 years or whatever or so. Them years went by quick, but I'm sure it didn't go by quick for him. But I know he's glad he's out. And he stay out, you know. He didn't waste no time going to the, like I said, hanging out, going to the basketball games, whatever, getting dapped from a lot of people, from the ball players and everybody else that was there. And also going straight to the studio to put some new heat out so everybody can, see if his wave is still, there. But I know he's gonna come with the new wave like Maxb does. You know what I'm saying? Nobody does it like Maxb. So welcome home, brother. Um, okay, it appears that Charlemagne the God and Roland Martin are going at it because Roland Martin feels that Charlemagne the God is misinforming his listeners on information about what's going on with the government shutdown and how he kisses up to the Democrats and this and that. So Roland Martin, spoke his mind on how he felt about, obviously, Charlemagne the God and everybody in the Breakfast Club, that they don't know, that he doesn't know what he's talking about, this and that. So Charlemagne the God got on the show today and he gave him donkey of the whatever, gave him the donkey or whatever that he always does when somebody messes up, or donkey of the day or whatever, donkey of the week, whatever, you know what I mean? But a lot of people, and when I went on YouTube, a lot of people took more of Roland Martin's side, and I have one of my friends that took Charlemagne the God's side, but he couldn't believe that, you know, Roland Martin was talking about Charlemagne the God like that. But it's like they both were coming at, at this time, even when I seen Charlemagne and Damon Dash going at it the way they do, it's kind of ridiculous now, man. Well, we need to all be sticking together. We can have differences. Everybody doesn't agree on certain things, but I kind of feel like, no disrespect to neither one of these brothers. They're both out there doing some positive things, and I just came back from Charlemagne the God's thing in Jersey, uh, for bringing mental wealth to a large black audience and to just people in general. So, and then you got Roland Martin that gives back as well, and he does what he does, and he does inform us on certain things. And the thing is, regardless of what the Democrats do, the Republicans are going to do what they do. And then a lot of people are saying it's tired of being the mature ones, but we need somebody to be mature. So Democrats, keep doing what you're doing. Now, me, I don't commit myself to either party, but it just so happens that I vote more for certain Democrats than I do for certain Republicans. If there's certain Republicans that are saying something and doing something that is going to help everyone in the community, because this stuff that's going on now is crazy with the ICE and with them messing with the health, free health care, and I mean not free health care, but you know what I mean, affordable health care. Because let's get that straight, ain't nothing free. You know what I mean? Did we get into that whole argument about freedom? What is freedom? Because we don't have it right now. But that's another story for another time. But here's the thing. I'm not, I feel like it's like I said, it's just the wrong time for them to be going at each other when we all should be sticking together. You know, He did, however, say what the Democrats were doing is right, and he just felt like Charlemagne feels like Roland Martin is tap dancing for the Democrats. But if the Democrats are fighting, he may have relationships with a lot of people that's running in, that's a part of that, the office or whatever, or part of it. So he knows what they have to go through. And then, of course, Trump goes to a football game, and gets booed like crazy. And he's waving at people as just like, fool, don't you know people are booing at you? Whereas Obama can go somewhere and get standing ovation. You know what it is? And not a lot of people agree with everything Obama did. But at the same time, it's how he carried himself. And that's very important, how he carried himself and how he was a fair person. The Republicans did not back him up on a lot of things just because, and it did have something to do with the race thing. Let's not pretend. He happened to be, well, he's black and white because his mother's white and his father was a black African. Not African American. No, he's straight from Africa, But they wanted to give him a hard time. Mitch McConnell, anybody that was in the White House at the time where Obama was trying to pass things through, laws through, whatever. And he already told people, I would love to do this, but I got to sit and talk with them first. They got to agree to this. This is what people got to, they got to go through Congress. The president is really not the one running. And in this case, they letting Trump do whatever he want to do. I don't know why. You know what I mean? Why they letting this senile orange man do what he's doing? But he is making everything messed up. He is not making America great again. He's making it worse than it's ever been, and you can't get no worse than what's going on right now. These ISIS people are going too far. Now, let me tell you something. They tried to mess with this little girl who was her paperwork is all set. She has the right to be here in the United States. And her family was not playing. Her grandmother was not playing that. She recorded the whole thing. She was not playing. They told them, get out of here. You know what I mean? They weren't playing that. They were trying to just take her. Like, you think you're going to just take a, like they're doing to this little boy that's only like 16 years old. He's scared that he may never see his parents again. And he's right. At 16 years old, he should not have to worry about his parents being taken away. And they are legal. They have the right to be here in the United States. So it's not even about that anymore. It's what these ISIS people are capable of doing under this BS law that they're breaking their own law. They're breaking the Constitution laws. They're breaking all kind of laws with this ICE thing. You know what I mean? And they're kidnapping people, beating people up. You know what I mean? They shooting people. They're doing whatever. They're profiling. They're doing whatever. They don't like how you look. If you look like you might be an immigrant, because they don't like you, your skin color, they can just grab you and do whatever. I thought they were supposed to be going after the worst. But meanwhile, I think they said Trump let 39 people out. And the ones that was at the Capitol Hill, he let all of them go. And they all pleaded guilty, and he still let them out. But yet you're coming after people that y'all feel shouldn't be here. I didn't say shouldn't be here because they're not illegal immigrants. They're legal immigrants that are here. And you're messing with them. You're messing with little kids, man. They should be ashamed of themselves, man. I'm hoping that I never run into one of them, because it ain't gonna be nice. And y'all gonna have to pray for me, because I'm not gonna let them do this to anybody's kids. Not my kids, not anybody's kids, not on my watch. You ain't gonna do this to no lady. You're not even gonna do this. If somebody has the right to be here, I don't care if you think you're upholding the law, whatever, you're breaking the law by doing what you're doing. You're kidnapping people. Let's just call it for what it is. I don't give a damn. ICE, police, whatever. If the police sit there and let them do that, they're just as bad. Anybody that's behind this is not a good person. But I've seen Bernie Bernie Sanders come out. He was there with the Democrat Party or whatever, or whatever whatever part. I can't even remember, anyways. But he was there, and he was talking about how it had a certain amount of Democrats there, a certain amount of Republicans trying to push this law so that it could be affordable to the middle class, so-called middle class citizens. I'd say poor citizens would pay because we're living paycheck to paycheck. If you ain't rich, you know, and even though my friend, someone I know gave me the information that everything's cleared with them, it's not cleared with everybody else. They got money for war but can't feed the poor. Park said that how many years ago? And that's still the case now because it's based on greed, man. It's based on greed. You could never spend that money in your lifetime. But you want to see, as I said, you want to see the less unfortunate suffer. That's why you're trying to kill us. You're treating us like animals. Somebody said you're treating us like animals, the kid. But the thing is, they treating us worse than animals. They treat animals better than what they treat us. If you're a minority, if you're a black person, you're a brown person, you're a so-called yellow person, I don't know what that means. That would classify as Asian or Chinese or whatever. Look, all of us ain't really black either. I'm brown. I got brown skin complexion, but whatever. I don't like labels, but it is what it is. But anyways, we need to change all that another time. But let me get into that later. But they're still not meeting them halfway. Right now, they still have, they still got this government shutdown. It's not over yet. It's been going on for some weeks now. It's been going on. Here we are in the middle of November. Those that celebrate Thanksgiving, we don't celebrate it the traditional way. We celebrate our family, man. We don't celebrate the indigenous being raped, hung, and God knows what else. We don't celebrate that with the pilgrims. Supposedly, some idiot said that there were black pilgrims. No. We didn't participate in that foolishness. Get out of here with that. Christopher Columbus discovered America, right? That's a lie. You can't discover that something's already there where people were already living. No, you conquered it like y'all always do. You come, seek, destroy, kill, rape, whatever it is you want to do, that's what y'all do. You know, when I say y'all, you know who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about all white people because all white people don't think like that. Thank God they don't think like that. But they're around people that do. So they can be confusing it, and some of them get brainwashed into thinking that, and they say, wait a minute, why are we doing this? When they see what's going on and see that we're not, oh, we're lazy, but y'all steal everything from us. You're the thieves. And yes, I'm pretty sure that there are some terrorists out there, but the terrorists I see in front of me is y'all. Is ICE. Is the Trump administration, the white supremacists, that all this hate that is coming with your administration and making things worse. They're not making America great again. You're making it worse again. You know, we need somebody to come in there that's going to be for everyone. And Obama was that person. Whether y'all liked him or not, I'm just going to keep it 100%. We may didn't like what he was doing. Some people felt like he could have looked more out for black people. He could have done this for, you know, he was more focused on the LGBT community more than he was on us. But people got to realize none of that stuff was easy for what he did. You know, he came here a full set of black hair and left out with white hair, but he was celebrating like he does now. You can see that he's loving life more. He was for the American people and he got criticized for it, but nobody booed him or treated him Even though people have had went out of their way and disrupted him or whatever, call him a liar and whatever, but it never been to this extent where so many people do not like a president. And there was plenty of president. You had President Nixon that I wasn't around when he was president. Some people give Ronald Reagan credit and some people don't. The black community don't, because Reaganomics or whatever is when they brought the drugs into the black communities. They did that a little before that with J. Edgar Hoover for the FBI. But even worse, when we had that's why I asked the question. And we got to ask ourselves as black people, not as coons, but real black people, and say, when has America really been great for us as black people? We did what we could to survive, to get through all these hard times. That's why some of us don't remember the bad times until we got older. When I stepped out in the street, I seen a lot of racist things going on. But at the same time, I seen these things on TV. When I had seen the Eyes on the Prize and watching that on was it? I can't even think of the station, Channel 2 or whatever. We're watching all these civil rights movies and we're watching the story on Martin Luther King. I didn't get to Malcolm X until we got a little older, where Denzel Washington betrayed him. And then, we started getting more into that. And we started learning more about our history. Hip hop artists were teaching us. X-Clan, Public Enemy. We had people like that was teaching us a lot of things that the schools weren't teaching us. They were our teacher. That's why we love hip hop so much. I said hip hop. I didn't say this crap that's out now, because the majority of it is trash. That's why it's at the top 40. It's not where it used to be. But there's a lot of real artists still doing it. This been around, and there's some new artists that's doing what they're doing now. But anyways, man, I'm just needed to talk to y'all, holler at y'all real quick, man. These videos are not going to be very long. Even when I get interviews, I gotta get people to kind of, because people's attention spans is like this. You know what I mean? They're not going to listen that long. Like, that's why I'm trying to tell my brother, DeMarco, man, bring that 4 hours down, man. The 4-hour challenge. Yes, it's a challenge because you're not going to get too many people that's going to want to listen to that. And I'm just being real. I love what you do. And shout out to you for playing my music. And I'm a part of this thing called, I'll talk about that more at another time. But it's called Bar Cypher. I'm not, right now I'm doing like security thing. I need to change that a little bit where I'm more active in what's going on. And so y'all know, because you don't see me on the pictures because we're security apparently. So we're behind the scenes. And that's not where I'm trying to be now. And I'll talk to you more about the music that I'm trying to put out. Is just be patient with me, man. Just be patient with me, y'all. I do want to get back to the music. Those of you that are interested in me getting back into doing music. And now, if you're not, I'm not really speaking to you. But if you are, yes, I want to come back. I want to come back and to perform. I want to come back and bring new music. I want to bring some of the old music that some of y'all have never heard and say, wow, this DC, the musical artist, is not that bad. Because when I'm on the stage, I'm not Del C. Del C is when I do the podcast and all that. But see, or online radio or whatever. But when I'm doing music, it's DC, the musical artist. Somebody said, why don't you shorten that name? I'm not shortening the name for nobody. At the end of the day, you got to do what pleases you. You got to put out you got to put out stuff that you're pleased with. You got to please yourself first. It's not about pleasing y'all. I'm not trying to be like the next artist. I'm being me. And if y'all can't appreciate that, oh well. There's been a lot of things going on lately. A lot of people have issues with me. I don't even know why. And at this point, I'm going to say I don't care. I love y'all, but I don't care that you have a problem with me. If you can't come to me like a woman or a man and talk to me about those issues, and if we do it, let's not do it on social media. Let's meet each other in person and let's talk this out. so that we can do it the right way, because everybody else is going to have their 2 cents, and everybody's going, because this situation that happened this week, it's not my business, so I'm not really going to talk about it. Everything just went left, you know, and it's no need for everybody else to be involved in something that you are supposed to be taking care of, you and the other individual. But I don't want to really get into that too much, because I got love for that man, and love for everybody. You know what I mean? And this music thing is very important. It's music, but it's very important. We want to bring positive music, classic music that you could listen to from years to come. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not worried about doing what's trendy and trying to do a wave and trying to get it's a vibe. No, I want to put out classics. That's all I know about. You got that biopic coming to Michael Jackson. That is an artist that put it out classic music, to put out worldwide classic music that everybody listens to. Can you know that went up just by people viewing this? Like, it's going to be packed. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go the first night unless I want to sit on the floor, because and then people, it's going to be hard for people to stay still. As soon as the movie come on, I want you back, ding, 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 I want you back, and then Thriller, oh man, Billie Jean, Remember the Time, all these classics from starting from him when he was a little kid, rapping with his, rapping, what the hell are you saying? Singing with his brothers and dancing with his brothers, from his solo debut. This started with Off the Wall. Actually, he had a solo debut even with the Jackson 5 when he did Got to Be There, and all the mother songs that he put. I Want to Be Where You Are, and Me, Music and Me. And, you know, he was putting out solo artists then with Motown. But when he came to Epic Records, he did a couple albums with his brothers. And then he said, you know what? 79 came. 78 or whatever, he said, I'm ready to go solo. That was after he did his thing with the Wiz, you know, as the Scarecrow. Had all legends on that. You know, that's when he worked with Quincy Jones, and the rest is history, man. That's why we're doing a biopic on one of the greatest artists of all time, the King of Pop, with Elizabeth Taylor gave him that name. So yes, what was I gonna say? There's another thing Trump is trying to do, trying to put up a fourth. Is $2,000, I think it is. Listen, we ain't falling victim to that okie doke. Now, some of y'all other people, y'all want to get that, you go ahead, you go right ahead. But me, I ain't messing with it, because I know there's something's funny about that, and I don't trust it. And you shouldn't probably trust it either. That's all I'm going to say. I'm out, y'all. As always, stay blessed, stay positive. Remember to always let your loved ones know you love them, because tomorrow's not promised to no man, woman, or child. On that note, I want to say peace out.